Let's go Dolphins! The Miami Dolphins offseason continues to generate excitement, and one of the biggest discussions now revolves around the team's offensive line. Let's be real, every Dolphins fan remembers last season's struggles, and improving protection for Tua Tagovailoa has to be a priority. The biggest remaining hole? Left guard. And there's one name still available in free agency that could change the game. I'll tell you all about it, and everything I learned behind the scenes. But first, make sure you've hit the like button if you agree with me that the Miami Dolphins are a great team, but they need changes, starting with the front office. I'll always emphasize this, because if we don't change the root of the problem, we'll always be embarrassed in the seasons. If possible, write it like this: Go Dolphins! I believe in change. Well, in the last few hours we received information that an interesting player is still available in free agency. His name is Tevin Jenkins. Jenkins, a former second-round pick out of Oklahoma State, has spent the past 4 seasons with the Chicago Bears. What's surprising is that he's still available in free agency, despite being one of the best interior offensive linemen left on the market. Miami could make a move here, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. He's played a significant amount of time at left guard, the exact position the Dolphins need to fill, and he fits well into Miami's offensive scheme. If Chris Greer is looking for an upgrade over Liam Eichenberg or Larry Borom, both of whom signed free agent contracts but aren't expected to start, Jenkins should be a top target. The Dolphins have already made moves to solidify the offensive line, including signing James Daniels to a 3-year deal and bringing back Austin Jackson and Aaron Brewer. But the left guard position remains a glaring issue. If the team doesn't address it in free agency, then it almost certainly has to be a top priority in the draft at pick number 13. But here's the thing. If Miami signs a proven veteran like Jenkins, they'll have the freedom to focus on adding a top-tier defensive player instead. The Dolphins need help at safety, cornerback, and defensive line, and securing the left guard position now would allow them to go after the best available defensive talent in the first round. Now, let's talk about Jenkins in more detail. He has experience playing both left and right guard, logging 1,100 snaps on the left side and 852 on the right. That kind of versatility is valuable. But there's one big red flag: injuries. Jenkins has an extensive injury history, including neck strains, hip and leg injuries, concussions, multiple ankle sprains, and even a calf injury late in 2024. His availability has been inconsistent. He missed games in every season, playing just 6 games as a rookie and then managing 13, 12, and 14 games over the past 3 years. For a team like Miami, which has struggled with offensive line injuries, that's a legitimate concern. However, when Jenkins is on the field, he's excellent. Last season, he played 738 snaps for the Bears and graded in the mid-70s for both pass blocking and run blocking, according to Pro Football Focus. He allowed only 4 sacks and 4 penalties. What really makes him a good fit for the Dolphins is his success in zone run schemes, an area where Miami thrives. The Dolphins run more halfback tosses, end-arounds, and stretch plays than any other team in the league. Jenkins has consistently performed well in that type of system over the past 3 years. If he stays healthy, he could be exactly what Miami needs to solidify the offensive line. Imagine a starting unit featuring Patrick Paul at left tackle, Jenkins at left guard, Brewer at center, Daniels at right guard, and Jackson at right tackle. That would be a formidable group, one that could give Tua the protection he needs and open up lanes for the running game. Of course, the big question is money. Before free agency, Pro Football Focus projected Jenkins to land a 3-year, $40 million deal, averaging about $13.3 million per year. Spotrac had a more conservative estimate of 3 years, $31 million, $10.3 million per year. But here we are, well into the second week of free agency, and he's still unsigned. That could mean his asking price is too high, or it could mean teams are wary of his injury history. If his price drops into the $7 to $8 million range per year, Miami should seriously consider making a move. A 2-year, $14.5 million or $15 million deal would be reasonable. If he's willing to sign for that, the risk-reward balance starts to tilt in Miami's favor. So, Dolphins fans, what do you think? Should Miami go after Tevin Jenkins to solidify the offensive line? Or should they roll the dice with the draft and hope to land a rookie who can step in immediately? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a huge decision that could shape the Dolphins' offensive success in 2025. And that's not the only major move Miami is considering. Let's talk about Emmanuel Ogbah. At the start of free agency, it didn't seem like a reunion was in the cards. But things have changed. According to reports, the Dolphins have actually offered Ogbah a contract for the upcoming season. While no deal is finalized, this is a surprising development. Last year, Miami only brought Ogbah back out of necessity after Shaquille Barrett unexpectedly retired just before training camp. But once he was back, Ogbah delivered. He played in 16 of 17 games, racking up 50 tackles, 5 sacks, and a forced fumble. That's solid production for a guy who was essentially a last-minute addition. In Anthony Weaver's defensive scheme, he fit in nicely and proved to be a valuable piece of the rotation. The original plan was to move forward with a trio of Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, and the rookie Chop Robinson. But with injuries and depth concerns always a factor, keeping a proven veteran like Ogbah in the mix makes a lot of sense. The depth chart at edge rusher is already crowded. You've got Phillips, Chubb, Robinson, Cameron Good, and Quentin Bell. But let's be real, there's no guarantee that all of them will make the final 53-man roster. Bell isn't a lock, and neither is last year's 5th-round pick, Mamadou Ndiaye. If Miami signs Ogbah, it likely means they won't be drafting another edge rusher in April, but that might be okay given the talent they already have. The real question is, how much is Ogbah worth at this stage of his career? If Miami can bring him back on a veteran minimum deal, somewhere in the range of $1.50 to $2 million, it would be hard to argue against it. That kind of value for a guy who can still contribute at a high level is a steal. So, Dolphins fans, what do you think? Should Miami bring back Emmanuel Ogbah? Or should they move forward with the young talent already on the roster? Let me know in the comments. The big question now is, what will Miami do next? With Tevin Jenkins still available in free agency and Emmanuel Ogbah potentially returning, the Dolphins have crucial decisions to make that could shape their roster for the upcoming season. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, Miami's overall strategy and what these moves, or lack thereof, could mean for their 2025 campaign. Let's start with Jenkins. If Miami does decide to sign him, it would significantly impact their draft plans. Without a veteran left guard, the Dolphins might feel pressured to use their 13th overall pick on a rookie offensive lineman. That's not necessarily a bad thing. There are quality prospects available, but do you really want to head into the season with an improving left side of the line? Patrick Paul, who was a second-round pick this year, is expected to take over at left tackle. If the Dolphins draft a left guard as well, that means your entire blindside protection for Tua would consist of 2 first-year starters. That's risky. No matter how talented a rookie is, there's always an adjustment period in the NFL. And let's be real, Tua isn't the most mobile quarterback in the league. He needs time in the pocket. Miami's offensive scheme thrives on quick passing and timing routes, but if defenses start generating pressure up the middle, it could completely throw off the rhythm of the offense. That's why signing Jenkins would be so valuable. He's proven he can play at a high level when healthy, and his experience would bring much-needed stability to the offensive line. Now, if the Dolphins pass on Jenkins and decide to go the rookie route, that means they'll likely use the 13th pick on an offensive lineman. But what if they don't? That's where things get interesting. Miami has major needs on defense, particularly in the secondary and along the defensive line. If the left guard spot is filled in free agency, that opens the door for the Dolphins to go all in on the best defensive player available at number 13. So, Dolphins fans, what do you think?